Hi everyone and welcome along. It seems like a good balance at the moment to maybe over the course of a week on YouTube that we do one Halloween and one autumn tutorial. So today we are doing a fun Halloween wreath featuring a bubbling cauldron, a playful ghost and some jack-o'-lanterns hanging from a tree and one or two little spiders and cobwebs as well. Wreaths are great fun and they can really be adapted to all sorts of different themes and designs, so I think you will enjoy this one. Grab your paints and let's get started. So I've drawn a circle on a 7 by 7 inch piece of paper and I'm going to begin with a few little shapes. So I'm going to begin with a cauldron down here, which I draw with just like two curved brackets, and then do a little oval over the top. I'm going to have a little ghost with holding on to a little pumpkin balloon, of course, as you do, and that gives us the little curve there. On this side I'm going to have a tree which will come right down, and I'm just going to sort of let its roots grow. Maybe its roots sort of grow like that a little bit. And then I'm going to sort of come halfway across there and then sort of come all the way over. So that's what sort of creates the wreath shape, and it's quite a pumpkin-y theme. I thought it might be nice to have some jack-o'-lanterns hanging from the tree there, and maybe a little spider or two, and then that means we could probably do a cobweb or two, something like that. Maybe another cobweb going from there as well. But that is going to be my wreath. I want to keep it simple because wreath painting can actually be quite a faff. It can take a lot of time, and I think when you're painting like fun little seasonal things, sometimes it might be for a journal or for a card, or you might be doing more than one. You want to be able to repeat the whole thing. So I like to be able to give you options that won't take you forever. Now what I want to do to start off with is I want to do a bit of a glow on some of these things. So I'm just wetting the page over the pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns and also just around the cauldron, but I'm just going to make sure that I don't get that ghost included. Now this can be a really nice way of just making things a little bit more exciting. So I'm going to just place in a little bit of lemon yellow, so around the edge of these jack-o'-lanterns. If you don't know what that is, because I didn't, but it's a way of saying a carved pumpkin lantern thing. So, and then I'm going to take some purpley tones. I'm going to get some aqua green. Maybe a little bit of pink as well. Right, and we're just going to let those all dry 100%. So I've painted that pumpkin balloon so that you can see what I'm aiming for, and I've got permanent orange, pyrrole orange, burnt sienna, moon glow and a little bit of yellow ochre. Now the one difference between these and this one, I'm going to do a face on it, but I'll do those cutouts in a dark colour, whereas these are going to have light shining through them, so I need to know where not to paint. So I'm going to draw in some shapes. There we go. And so I'll need a smallish brush. I've got a size 0 here. I'm going to start with my lighter orange first, and I'm going to paint sections starting with the central one and just imagine it coming down and curving down into the middle there. And then I will go again. It's nice if you can get a full curve uninterrupted. Okay, and when I've done like 3, just going to use a little bit of Pyrrole orange to get a bit of sort of wet on wet detail there to give it a bit of roundness. So I just focused on painting in sort of areas at the top and bottom. There we go. I've now added some raw umber and Payne's grey to my general plethora of colours, and I'm just going to start painting in the tree. And I've got a size 2 brush, and I am using the sort of earthy tones and dark colours in my palette to create a tree that is going to sort of come all the way around. And I'm sort of toying with the idea of whether I give it an extra sort of, I've given it an extra root, there we go. I don't know why I suddenly get like troubled by realism when I'm painting something like this. But yeah, I just like the idea of it being able to hold itself up. And I am going to create the branches and just follow that pencil circle round, and then just a slightly smaller brush and just add a few extra little branches here and there, and then also sort of to bring it around on the other side of the cauldron as well. And you can see how I've just sort of not painted in too much around the edge of the cauldron, because I want the sort of the magic mist to really have a chance to stand out. But now let's do the cauldron. I'm going to use a mixture of Moonglow and Payne's grey and ivory black, because I haven't used any black on the tree. We might want a little bit more of a pencil guide now, because we have this rim, but what we don't have is a sort of extra little lip like that. So I'm going to start by painting in at the edges, both sides, and then cleaning off my brush and drawing the colour inwards on both sides. And by doing this, this will help create a rounded shape. So you can see there I sort of painted in the front of the rim and just left most of it unpainted behind. And now I'm going to talk to you about our little ghost, because we need a white, don't we? So what I like to do is I use a goldeny brown, a bit of a Payne's grey, and then I use a tiny bit of green gold, which creates this colour that you sort of have to tweak keep tweaking it until you've got it to a sort of a warm kind of grey tone, and then I just add loads of water. I want it a bit more blue than that. Just add loads of water. There it is. There's the colour. And it makes a really fantastic ghost. So what I like to do is just sort of use the edge and then just sort of soften it off. And the great thing about watercolour is it dries a lot lighter. So what might seem like quite a lot of colour on there is going to dry and fade, and we're going to get a really nice white colour. So what else can we do whilst we're waiting for things to dry? Well, you'll see I did the little pumpkin face there, and because that balloon is just a sort of design of a pumpkin, I'm going to, for these ones, I'm going to keep the colours essentially making it look like cutouts with light behind. So I've just got some little bit of yellow ochre that I'm just going to sort of edge. We don't need much at all. And then I think just maybe a little bit of brown underneath. But we are getting to the point where we can add some fun little details. So I thought a little spider here and there would be fun. Take the fluff off the brush. So I'm going to do a little shape like that. And then I think we need the really small brush for the legs. So I've got my 4/10 here. And then it's quite nice. And then a cobweb or two. Now cobwebs are funny ones because I think we always get caught out with where we're going to put them. So I think what's good is to sort of find your place where you're going to put them in. So there's my central point there, because it needs points to sort of cling on to. So, but then once we're in, we need a gap in the middle. So don't paint right into the centre. And then there we go. If you want, you could always just stretch it out like that. All the pencil has been rubbed out, and now I've just got some fun little bits left to do. So let's have a look at this cauldron. I'm going to take some of the purple, imperial purple, and some of the pink, and finally some of the aqua green, and just sort of glaze in a little bit of the potion, whatever's going on in there. That's rather nice. And then lastly, some little eyes for our ghost. So I've just got some ivory black, doing some sort of slices of kidney shapes. And don't you think, even with that pencil all rubbed out, the ghost is a perfect colour. So there you go, there is our fairly simple little Halloween wreath. Like I say, wreaths can take ages if you really fill them up, but they can also be quick and simple like that and really fun for any season that you're celebrating. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to comment below, let me know how you got on with that one. And of course, if you never want to miss another video, you just hit that subscribe button, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye!